Late on the night of July 17th, Evergrande Group, once the leading real estate enterprise in China, released 3 long-delayed financial reports from the past 2 years revealing the true state of its debt. As shown in these financial statements, as of December 31st, 2022, Evergrande's total debt exceeded 2.4 trillion yuan, which is around 340 billion USD. This suggests that during the past 2 years, throughout its assets restructuring period, Evergrande set a record for the highest loss ever incurred by a Chinese enterprise, far exceeding the total losses of all other real estate companies during the same period. And Evergrande's massive debt is just the tip of the iceberg of China's real estate industry. On the evening of July 28th, China Evergrande Group again announced the details of its unpaid due debts. As of the end of June 2023, Evergrande's unpaid due debts and overdue commercial bills amounted to approximately 532 billion yuan. In addition, as of the end of June 2023, Evergrande's total unpaid due debts amounted to approximately 287 billion yuan, while its overdue commercial bills amounted to approximately 245 billion yuan. According to a July 17th report by Radio Free Asia, state-owned Sino-Ocean Group has become another real estate company facing a debt crisis with a dramatic fall in share and bond values. As of the 17th, the group had still not paid off the bond interest due the week before, and more seriously, bonds worth over 2 billion yuan are due next month. The state-owned real estate giant Sino-Ocean Group rank among the top in China's real estate industry. It is one of the constituents of the Hang Seng Composite Index and the China State-Owned Enterprise Index, and ranks 17th in the top 100 real estate companies in China. 2 major state-owned enterprises, China Life Insurance and People's Insurance Company of China, PICC, are major shareholders of the group and hold its controlling stake. Surprisingly, such a powerful enterprise has fallen into a debt crisis. Previously, on March 30th of this year, one of China's largest real estate developers, Country Garden, announced that it suffered a loss of more than 880 million USD in 2022, marking the company's first annual loss in 15 years. Other major Chinese real estate companies like Sunac and RNF Properties have also fallen into varying degree of loss and debt crisis. According to the official website of the China Real Estate Association, Fanchen.com, as of February 14th, 38 of the 67 A-share listed real estate companies that released their 2022 performance forecast are expected to suffer losses, accounting for more than 57%. Among these, 16 will be suffering losses for the first time, accounting for 24%, and 22 will be suffering consecutive losses, accounting for 33%. Among the 29 profitable real estate companies, 20 are expected to see a decrease in net profit attributable to the parent company, with only 5 expecting an increase. Moreover, a report published by Fanchan.com on February 28th revealed that approximately 308 real estate companies nationwide published bankruptcy documents in 2022. In recent years, especially since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, some real estate developers have faced broken financial chains, creating an imminent or existing crisis situation. Numerous real estate projects in many cities have had to halt construction, leaving homeowners who have already purchased these properties stuck in the nightmare of unfinished buildings. In the video, a young female homeowner has chosen an almost completed property back in 2019, with the developer's promise to deliver by October 2020. She had hoped to bring her parents to Zhengzhou for a family reunion. Her parents paid the down payment with their life savings and took on the responsibility of monthly mortgage payments. However, 3 years have passed and the house is still not delivered. Now the woman feels extremely guilty and dares not to mention the issue of the stalled housing project to her family.
My parents spent their life savings, 1.4 million yuan, on a stalled real estate project in Zhengzhou. I don't even dare to bring it up with my family. I'm scared of being blamed. This is something I could feel guilty about for the rest of my life, because it was me who persuaded them to buy this house. After graduating from college in 2019 and starting to work in Zhengzhou, I selfishly wanted my parents to move here from their hometown so that our family could be together. The 95 square meter apartment cost over 14,000 yuan per square meter. We took out a mortgage of 1 million yuan, which means a monthly payment of 7,500 yuan. My parents invested their lifetime savings in this apartment. We were full of hope, waiting for it to be completed, but 1 year turned into 2, and then 3 due to the pandemic, and the building still isn't finished. We've tried to claim our rights many times, but we don't believe in the developer's promises anymore. Unlike other stalled projects, the exterior of this building is all done. The developer just doesn't have the money to meet the delivery standards. Each time my parents ask about it, I tell them not to worry, but as time goes on, even I'm losing faith. The property is still not ready, which even delayed my brother's wedding. I'm so upset that I dare not mention it anymore. I feel like I've let them down. Would things have been better if we had chosen a different property or bought a house in our hometown instead? I feel like I can never forgive myself. I don't mind paying the mortgage myself. I can handle it. But my parents paying 7,500 yuan a month, money they've scrimped and saved for, feels like a colossal mistake. It's heartbreaking that my parents, who are over 50, and I have become housing slaves in Zhengzhou.
The construction industry is having a really tough time right now. Our building is only half done, and the developer has run out of money. Right now, their main goal is to sell as many properties as possible so they can keep going. For those they can't sell, they've just given up. The main structure of our building isn't even finished yet, and they've already removed all the scaffolding and returned the steel pipes. Things are really difficult in the construction industry now.
As reported by Voice of America on June 21st, nearly a year after the outbreak of stalled housing supply in various provinces and cities in China, most of the related real estate projects have yet to resume work and failed to deliver as scheduled. Some observers believe that not only the general public but even banks have lost confidence in developers' ability to resolve the problem of stalled housing. Post-2019, China's real estate market has been in decline. Government regulation has led to liquidity issues for some real estate companies, leaving a vast number of unfinished buildings. In July last year, tens of thousands of homeowners across the country declared they were unwilling to continue monthly mortgage payments for long-stalled off-plan apartments, triggering a real estate and financial crisis. In response, the People's Bank of China and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development offered financial support for real estate by introducing a 200 billion yuan guaranteed housing loan support plan. The second phase of the relief fund, totaling 200 billion yuan, is gradually being released. However, Xu Xingjun, a scholar from National Taiwan University, stated the 400 billion yuan relief fund is a drop in the bucket for solving China's housing crisis. In China, real estate is a vital part of local government economies. If the housing crisis can't be resolved, it could drag down government finances and disrupt urban development. On July 24th, Twitter used at YuZhouToLei posted about a public protest in front of the Ningxiang People's Government in Hunan Province. Some people were arrested at the scene. According to comments, the protest was due to the stalled housing projects. On the same day, Twitter user Pete Huang 2 at HCN77777 posted a video showing a demonstration by homeowners of the stalled housing community Jingyi Milan in Zhengzhou on July 23rd. Banners in the video read, "Black-hearted Jingyi stalled Zhengzhou Milan. No foreseeable date for the delivery of houses. Homeowners are homeless. Our demands are ignored. Heavens cannot tolerate such injustice. Zhengzhou Jingyi Milan indefinitely delayed. No matter is too small. The government must pay attention. Our government reps. Please help. Return my house. Return my money," etc. In the wake of real estate companies facing liquidity crunches and even bankruptcy, property prices have fallen to varying degree in almost all cities in China, including Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen, due to countless unfinished building projects, rapid economic downturn post-pandemic, and soaring unemployment. In many places, housing prices have experienced a cliff-like drop, and the wave of house price reductions and sales across the country is higher than ever. The Financial Times reported on May 5th that property prices in third and fourth tier cities in China have fallen 20% to 50% from their peak in 2019. And tens of trillions of yuan has evaporated over the past 3 years from the overall housing market. Falling house prices for existing homeowners could affect their consumption behavior. The price drop of old houses and houses in peripheral areas for some cities exceeded the average. The decline in commercial property prices in most cities even exceed that of residential properties. For example, some apartments in certain provincial capital cities have fallen by more than 50% from their peak. A recent internet video showed that all real estate in Yibin City, Sichuan province, is plummeting, with homes bought for 480,000 now sell for only 360,000. Meanwhile, in Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan province, more than 150,000 second-hand houses are listed, but even with a drastic drop in housing prices, the market remains cold with few buyers.
I'm now in Yibin, Sichuan province, to see how badly housing prices have crashed here. Look over here, a 118 square meter apartment that used to cost 480,000 yuan is now selling for just 360,000 yuan. And you can get a 3-bedroom apartment with an elevator for just a little over 500,000 yuan. The real estate prices have plummeted everywhere. In Zhengzhou, something even scarier than a housing price crash is happening. The issue with real estate has shifted from whether houses are cheap enough to whether there's anyone to buy them at all. Even though they've lifted purchase restrictions, lowered interest rates and down payments, and even allowed zero down payment, there are still no buyers.
China's real estate industry began with the commercialization of housing policy after the reform and opening up. Since the urban housing system reform in 1998, real estate has become an essential pillar of the national economy. The value added by the real estate industry rose from 4.1% of GDP in 2000 to 7.3% in 2020. If we include highly related upstream and downstream industries like manufacturing, construction, finance, and services, the figure exceeds 20%. Land transfer fees and real estate special taxes have become a significant source of local government fiscal revenue. In 2007 alone, national land transfer fees reached a staggering 2.26 trillion yuan, becoming an integral part of government fiscal revenue and forming a China-specific land finance highly reliant on land transfer income. In 2008, when the US subprime mortgage crisis broke out, China's real estate industry cooled down swiftly, with both volume and price dropping. The Chinese government launched a large-scale 4 trillion yuan stimulus plan, easing restrictions on the real estate industry and driving house prices back on an upward trajectory. Under relaxed monetary policy, the real estate industry overheated again, accelerating the increase in housing prices, and the housing bubble was artificially inflated. At the end of 2015, in response to problems such as excess inventory in real estate and insufficient local fiscal revenue, the Central Economic Work Conference of the Communist Party of China mentioned the real estate issue as a standalone task for the first time. They emphasized the need to strive to resolve real estate inventory, abolish outdated restrictive measures. Under a series of favorable policies, the real estate market was thriving, with record-breaking sales of residential properties and housing prices in many places doubling. In the face of persistent overheating of housing prices and the risk of a real estate bubble burst, at the end of 2016, Xi Jinping, General Secretary of Communist Party of China, insisted that at the Central Economic Work Conference, that houses are for living in, not for speculation. This set the tone for the future development of China's real estate industry, followed by stringent control policies. However, this rough and drastic restriction policy did not specifically address core issues leading to the overheating of real estate market, such as the heavy reliance of local governments on land finance, high debt and high leverage operation models of real estate developers, high vacancy and inventory of commercial housing, etc. As a result, this policy was destined to become one of Xi Jinping's many unfinished projects. This tightening policy was one of the main reasons for the large number of unfinished buildings caused by the break in the real estate company's capital chain. The bursting of the real estate bubble will trigger a series of crises. First, it will cause a significant decline in GDP growth, leading to severe reductions in investment and rising unemployment rates. Second, the upstream and downstream industries of real estate, such as construction, steel, and building materials, will inevitably be affected. The burst of the bubble will reduce demand in these industries, leading to overcapacity, which will impact the stability and development of the entire industrial chain. Third, it will exacerbate social issues. The prosperity of the real estate market has led many people to see opportunities for investment and appreciation. However, after the bubble burst, the fall in house price could cause home buyers' assets to shrink, even plunging them into negative equity. Furthermore, many home buyers are heavily in debt and may be unable to repay their mortgages, leading to social instability. Fourth, it could trigger a financial crisis. The real estate industry has a massive scale of financing, with bank loans and credit heavily dependent on real estate collateral. Once a housing bubble bursts, banks will face significant credit risk, potentially causing a severe financial crisis. Fifth, local governments heavily dependent on land sales revenue may face a fiscal crisis. In recent years, widespread pay cut among civil servants across China have been largely due to the fact that local governments can no longer obtain substantial fiscal revenue from land transfers. Despite the fact that the Chinese government no longer emphasizes the slogan, "Houses are for living in, not for speculation," and has issued a series of policies aimed at stabilizing the real estate market, such as the State Council's new policy for real estate market regulation and the draft revision of the Land Use Management Law. The Central Political Bureau of the CCP emphasized in a meeting on July 24th to analyze and study the current economic situation and economic work that it is crucial to prevent and resolve risk in key areas, adapt to the new situation of significant changes in the supply and demand in our country's real estate market, adjust and optimize real estate policies in a timely manner, and activate and transform all types of idle real estate. In an attempt to revive the sluggish demand in the real estate market, the Zhejiang provincial government recently announced the removal of household registration restriction across the province, excluding Hangzhou City. However, no matter what is done, it's too late. The curtain has fallen on this real estate feast that has lasted for 20 years.